Folks, listen to Birchtree Sikeston. New Orleans Smoky Blues barbecue sauce is the best barbecue sauce, and it goes great on beef, pork, and muskrat. So just come to your local store and pick up 3 or 4 bottles and enjoy. Oh, hi, and welcome to Birchtree Sikeston's home. Coming to you live every Friday night here in beautiful downtown Coweta, Oklahoma. We're so glad that you came in tonight. I've got a special guest here on KGTR TV, the band that everyone's been talking about in the area, the Traveling Tone Kings. And I'd like to bring out right now our first member and the original member of the Traveling Tone Kings, Mr. Lindsey Stratford. Lindsey, come on out. Go. Hi, Lindsey.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Come on in and have a sit. We've got you a cup of coffee here. We heard that's what you like. And you know, it's been a long time since we've even seen each other, and I would just like to thank you for the show that's coming up tomorrow night, that you've invited me to come up and play with you guys, and I'm just real excited about it. So
great.
So we'd like to welcome you again tonight, like I said, and got a couple of questions. Just like to know, just exactly where did you get the name Lindsey Stratford?
Well, it's actually a fictitious name. Back in the late 80s when we were on the run.
Late 80s, folks.
Late 80s. We didn't get hung up in the whole Duran thing. We didn't really get into the whole cocaine thing of the 80s, you know, the Miami Vice, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm into that. Yeah.
But we were...
the Corvettes and, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, during the time of the border wars in the late 80s, we were on the run, and we ended up having to assume AKAs, a fictitious name. So what we would do is we would take and get a road map or an atlas, and we would take an ink pen or a pencil or a stick, wherever we were at, and you close your eyes and you'd go in circles.
Some sort of a pointer is what you're getting at.
Yes, a pointer.
Okay.
That's
A
exactly
pointer.
the point. And then you would go around in circles and stop with your eyes closed, and where you landed the first time was your first name, and you did it again. And second time was your last name.
So we're talking Lindsey and Stratford. Now, are those in Oklahoma here?
Yes, they are.
They are in Oklahoma. Well, you know, I have a similar story. Of course, everyone knows that's how I got my name, my stage name of Birchtree Sikeston is, you know, is because of the wonderful state of Missouri. And those were where my names came from. So that's a similar thing. We didn't have the border war problem, but that's interesting. Speaking of the border wars, though, that does lead me to my next and final question before we bring out some of the other band members.
Yes.
Is we would like to know your views on the sexual exploitation of the Mexican brown-spotted sea bat.
Well, you know, Birch, the sea bat at one time was an endangered species.
Oh, yes.
Yes. There was a lot of people just killing them for the hell of it. Excuse me. But, you know, there was no reason. It was like killing the buffalo. Everywhere you looked, there was big piles of bat bones. Killing them for the meat, for the fur. They had about maybe this much fur. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So, you know, they thought by doing that, you know, it would promulgate the mating of the bat.
I can see that, yeah.
You know, and...
Get more of them.
Well, eventually you did, but whenever it got down to maybe, you know, 10 or 20, I think is what it got down to. And then they ended up putting them in, it was like the San Diego Zoo and in some little, you know, place in Texas.
And did they do infiltration on them to get them to breed more? Is that how they did that?
It was in vitro fertilization.
In vitro, yeah. See, those are those words that Birchtree doesn't know how to say once in a while. But
and you know, I think everybody that, you know, was around at that time period had a little hand in on, pardon the pun, had a hand in on the in vitro fertilization. The problem is that humans...
Oh, I'm sorry, Birchtree. We're going to have to take a break here and go to our commercial sponsor. Folks, listen to Birchtree Sikeston about the home line enriched hot dog buns. Buy some at your local grocery. You'll enjoy them.